Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Sam Smith, singer. Samuel Frederick Smith is an English singer-songwriter. He rose to fame in October 2012, when he was featured on Disclosure's breakthrough single Latch, which peaked at number 11 on the UK singles chart. His subsequent feature, on Naughty Boys, La La La, earned him his first #1 single in May 2013. In December 2013 he was nominated for the 2014 Brit Critics Choice Award and the BBC's Sound of 2014 poll, both of which he won. He released his debut studio album In the Lonely Hour in May 2014 on Capitol Records UK. The lead single Lay Me Down was released prior to La La La. The second single, Money on My Mind, became his second #1 single in the UK. The album's third single, Stay With Me, was an international success, reaching #1 in the UK, and #2 on the US Billboard Hot 100, while the fourth single, I'm Not the Only One, reached the top 5 in both countries. The fifth single, Like I Can, reached #9 in the UK. He made his US debut on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, followed by a performance on Saturday Night Live in March 2014. In December 2014, Smith was nominated for 6 Grammy Awards and, at the 57th Annual Grammy Awards in February 2015, he won for Best New Artist Stay With Me, for Record of the Year and Song of the Year, and In the Lonely Hour for Best Pop Vocal Album. At the 2015 Brit Awards he won the awards for British Breakthrough Act and Global Success. At the 2015 Billboard Music Awards, Smith received 3 Billboard Awards: Top Male Artist, Top New Artist and Top Radio Songs Artist. His musical achievements have also led him to be mentioned twice in the Guinness World Records for his Jimmy Napper song, Writings on the Wall, the theme for the James Bond film Spectre. Smith won the Golden Globe Award and the Academy Award for Best Original Song. Early life. Samuel Frederick Smith was born on the 19th of May 1992 in London, England, the son of Frederick Smith and Kate Cassidy, a broker. He was an alumnus of Youth Music Theatre UK, and starred in their 2007 production of Oh, Carol. Before entering the musical theatre, Smith had been in jazz bands. For a number of years he studied singing and songwriting under jazz pianist Joanna Eden. He attended St Mary's Catholic School in Bishop's Stortford. He was a member of the Bishop's Stortford Junior Operatics and the Cantate Youth Choir. 2012-13 Breakthrough. Smith was featured on the Disclosure song Latch, which was released on the 8th of October 2012 and peaked at number 11 on the UK singles chart. In February 2013 he released the first single from his debut album Lay Me Down. He was also featured on Naughty Boys' single La La La. It was released on the 19th of May 2013 and peaked at #1 on the UK singles chart. The same year, he released his first EP, Nirvana, consisting of 4 tracks. The first song on the EP, titled Safe With Me, is produced by 2-Inch Punch and premiered on Mr. Jam's BBC Radio 1 Extra show on the 24th of July 2013. The second song on the EP is titled Nirvana and is produced by Craze. The EP also includes Smith's acoustic solo version of Latch and a live version of I've Told You Now. Smith released the Disclosure, Nile Rodgers and Jimmy Napes collaboration together on the 25th of November 2013 as the only single from Settle, the remixes. 2014-16, In the Lonely Hour, an international success. The second single from his debut album, titled Money on My Mind, was released on the 16th of February 2014. It was announced on the 16th of December that Smith's debut studio album, titled In the Lonely Hour, would be released on the 26th of May 2014 through Capitol Records. He describes the album as all about unrequited love because he has never been loved back by any of his love interests. The album reached number 1 in the UK Albums Chart and number 2 on the Billboard 200, and by the 5th of November it had become the second biggest selling album of 2014 in the US, behind only 1989 by Taylor Swift. In January 2015, In the Lonely Hour was named the second best-selling album of 2014 in the UK, behind X by Ed Sheeran. A live version of album track I've Told You Now performed at St. Pancras Old Church was made available for free download as part of an Amazon.com promotion on the 27th of December 2013. The album track, Make It To Me, co-written by Howard of Disclosure and Jimmy Napes, was made available for free download as part of an iTunes Store promotion on the 13th of January 2014. Smith went on his debut American headlining tour in the spring of 2014, with a set list of primarily new material. On the 20th of January 2014, Smith made his American television debut performing Latch with Disclosure on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. He also performed on Saturday Night Live on the 29th of March 2014, performing the gospel-tinged Stay With Me and an acoustic version of Lay Me Down. Stay With Me reached number 1 on the UK Singles Chart and number 2 on the US Billboard Hot 100. The fourth single from the album, I'm Not the Only One, reached number 3 in the UK and number 5 in the US. In June 2014, Smith first appeared on the cover of The Fader in its 92nd issue. In August 2014, Smith's single, Stay With Me, was named Variance magazine's Song of Summer. Smith performed Stay With Me live at the 2014 MTV Video Music Awards on the 24th of August at the Forum in Inglewood, California. On the 15th of November 2014, Smith joined the charity group Band Aid 30 along with other British and Irish pop acts, recording the latest version of the track Do They Know It's Christmas at Psalm West Studios in Notting Hill, London, to raise money for the 2014 Ebola crisis in Western Africa. In 2015, it came to light that singer Tom Petty, noting similarities between Stay With Me and his 1989 hit song I Won't Back Down, had negotiated an out-of-court settlement with Smith in October 2014. Petty and co-composer Jeff Lynne were awarded 12.5% of the royalties from Stay With Me, and the names of Petty and Lynne joined James John Napier in the ASCAP song credit at the 57th Annual Grammy Awards held on 8 February 2015 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Smith performed Stay With Me and also received 4 Grammy Awards: Best New Artist, Record of the Year and Song of the Year, and Best Pop Vocal Album. At the 2015 Brit Awards held at the O2 Arena in London on the 25th of February, Smith performed Lay Me Down and won the Brit Awards for British Breakthrough Act and Global Success. In March 2015, Lay Me Down was re-released as the 6th single from the album, peaking at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100. The same month, Smith recorded another version of the song featuring John Legend for the British charity telethon Comic Relief, which reached number 1 in the UK at the 2015 Billboard Music Awards on the 17th of May. Smith received 3 Billboard Awards: Top Male Artist, Top New Artist, and Top Radio Songs Artist. Smith features on Disclosure's single Omen, which was released on the 27th of July 2015. On the 8th of September 2015, Smith confirmed that he and Jimmy Napes had composed Writings on the Wall, the theme song to Spectre, the 24th James Bond film. The song was released on the 25th of September 2015 and became the first James Bond theme to reach number 1 in the UK. On the 19th of October, Smith was presented with 2 Guinness World Records, one for recording the first James Bond theme song to go to #1 in the UK and another for scoring the most consecutive weeks in the UK top 10 by a debut album. At the 73rd Golden Globe Awards on the 10th of January 2016, Smith received the award for Best Original Song for Writings on the Wall. On the 14th of January, the song earned Smith an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Song. In the nominations for the 2016 Brit Awards announced on the 14th of January, the song was among the nominees for Best British Video. Smith performed Writings on the Wall at the Academy Awards on the 28th of February and along with Nips collected the prize for Best Original Song. In his acceptance speech, Smith referenced an article by Ian McKellen published before the award ceremony that claimed no openly gay man had won an Oscar for Best Actor. He misquoted McKellen as saying that no gay man in general had won an Oscar. This was quickly discredited by openly gay recipient Dustin and Lance Black, but McKellen mentioned that the error doesn't detract from Smith's achievement. 2016 present, the thrill of it all. Throughout 2016, Smith released footage of him in the studio working on new music leading up to the release of his second studio album. In late 2016, he was said to be working with Adam Lambert on new material. In early 2017, he was reported that Smith would be releasing his second album in September 2017 and had recorded with constant collaborator Jimmy Napes and Naughty Boy. In late April 2017, he was said to have been in studio sessions with classical crossover group Clean Bandit working on a possible comeback single, along with the group record producer Timbaland and musician Francis have said they have worked on songs for his upcoming album. On the 8th of September 2017, Smith released a new single titled Too Good at Goodbyes, which debuted at #1 in the United Kingdom. Influences. Smith cites Adele and Amy Winehouse as his main influences. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Smith cited Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey as the greatest are. The singer also lists Christina Aguilera, Beyoncé, Brandy and Lady Gaga as influences. Smith said about a diva quality to his voice. Personal life. In May 2014, Smith came out to the public as gay. He acknowledged a relationship, since ended, with actor and model Jonathan Zeisel. At the 57th Annual Grammy Awards when Stay With Me won an award for Record of the Year, he said, "I want to thank the man who this record is about, who I fell in love with last year. Thank you so much for breaking my heart because you got me 4 Grammys." Smith doesn't consider himself a cisgender man, saying, "I feel just as much woman as I am man." Smith is a third cousin of singer Lily Allen and actor Alfie Allen. Smith is the godfather of close friend and collaborator Jimmy Napper's son Jackson. He describes himself as a feminist. Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Would you like to know more?